wrapping up the conversation on compliments. Hello, Breakfast Club, Sister Danger here. I have just come off of basically 2 weeks of crazy travel all over the place, and so you are getting me after being home for 1 day so far, and I'm super tired, bedhead, haven't done anything. And I'm going to wrap up, albeit a little bit late, the conversation on compliments. I want to first thank everybody for contributing to that conversation. I watched everybody's videos while I was, had a spare moment out and about. So I wrote down some notes, and I kind of want to go over that, and then I will tell you all my conclusions. And then perhaps a little challenge here at the end. So first, I agree with Kazoom and Agent of Doubt and Goth that we definitely need more compliments in the world, not less. That it is better to say a nice thing to a person with a nice intention and to not assume the worst, but to try to assume the best. I found the observation that men don't get compliments on their looks as much as women to be somewhat fascinating. I think both Agent of Doubt and Kazoom mentioned this, and I was sort of led down the thought path of why that occurs. There are a number of dudes that hang out at the local pub that I go to, and they're nice looking guys. They have beards that they keep nice and clean cut. They wear cologne, a little bit of product in their hair. They wear button-up shirts, not like tight up to the neck, but instead of, t-shirt and jeans or something like Larry the Cable Guy, they just, I don't know, they present themselves nice. And I compliment them all the time. And so I found that observation to be interesting, since I feel like I have a history myself of just being complimentary towards the people that I see frequently, my friends, etc., etc. And but I guess that I would still err on the side that it's probably more true that guys get compliments much less often than women do. And at least in United States culture, I find myself wondering if that's because men here seem to go to much less effort compared to European countries and Eastern countries. They go to much less effort to pay attention to their appearances. We either have jeans and t-shirt, it seems like, flannels, rugged stuff, or super nice, Frank Sinatra, nice suit and tie or whatever, right? So I wonder if that's part of it, is that guys, American guys, don't seem to dress up as much as other cultures do. One of the things that Goth at Funk brought up was that some people like compliments and some don't. And so you have to be conscious of that, right? Of whether or not somebody likes that. And JJ sort of touched on this too, saying that she doesn't really like compliments about her appearances, etc., etc. And at the end of the day, she brought up the example of if somebody puts tons of work in on their makeup or whatever, then it's, acceptable to compliment them on the work that they've put into that. The issue that I have with that is that as the person, as the complimenter, you don't have omniscient knowledge of whether or not someone is a makeup artist, whether or not they just wake up in the morning and they've done it so often that it takes them 30 minutes to look like it takes them an hour and a half, right? As the complimenter, you just don't know anything about that person. And so how are you to know then, trickling down from that, what it's okay and not okay to compliment somebody on? And this sort of leads me back to what Goth at Funk said, how some people like compliments and others don't. If you follow these through, right, if you follow through, let's err on the side of caution that this person might not like compliments, and in order to avoid possibly offending them, then we just won't give compliments, right? That is where that path leads. And then the other path of this person may or may not like compliments. I don't know whether or not they do. I'm going to give it. That path leads down, at least the compliment is out there, and that person can decide whether or not they want to take it or leave it, as opposed to nothing nice ever having been said. And I guess if I have to choose between let's hopefully not offend somebody that we don't even know ahead of time may or may not like compliments, therefore never give compliments to anybody in order to avoid somebody, you know, not liking getting a compliment, I would rather live personally in the world where the compliment is given and that it is received without the presumption of some ill creeper intent. Compliments given, just take it as a compliment, say thank you, and move on. It's no skin off of anybody's nose if they don't like compliments to just say thank you and move on. And if they don't like how that compliment has altered the subject, then they can, you know, put the topic back on. It's no skin off their nose to do that. And then for the people that do like the compliments, they do get to, you know, experience that little boost and that little lift. Whereas the other path leaves everybody void of any compliments at all. Thank you everybody who contributed to this. Now, as a little bit of a fun thing here at the end, one of the things I did the past 2 weeks was I worked a convention and I got some cosplay photos. I'm going to throw one up here. And in the spirit of practicing compliments without being yum, I challenge all of you to leave a compliment that isn't like something that's at least a little more creative, right? Maybe poetic, Shakespearean, I don't know. On your marks, get set, go, and I will see you all on the flip side.